look like a blue version of Red Fraggle today. Wah! Hello, you beautiful curiosities. It is January 8th. Woo. And as I have mentioned before, we are talking about mental health a lot. I'm going to keep this pretty quick today because I need to head out on the road. And right now I'm just kind of waiting for things to defrost so that I can drive safely. As I sit in my driveway with the heat, and it's toasty because it's actually cold in LA today, which is weird. So today I want to talk about toxic people and how it's okay and in fact healthy to cut them out of your life, and you don't need to feel guilty about it. First of all, you don't owe anyone anything. Like, I don't care how long you've known someone. If that person has been a toxic influence in your life for many years, that does not give them the right or privilege to continue to be a toxic influence in your life. My best friend in high school, we were friends all through high school and through most of freshman year of college. Horribly, emotionally, and mentally manipulative person. Holy crap. I have a lot more of a spine now. I didn't quite understand emotional manipulation back then, so I was not very resistant to it, and I just was a total doormat for this person. I was the person who picked up all the pieces every time she, totally destroyed a human being, whether it was someone that she had briefly dated or had wanted to date her, or when she just decided she wanted to be angry at someone for reasons that she really never seemed to tell them. They apparently had to figure it out, but I would figure it out and then be the communicator and try to give them a hand, and I was enabling this horrible behavior and not realizing she was doing the exact same thing to me very often. Only when it happened to me, I didn't have the luxury of having this little tiny short translator. It was like, all right, Kiri, here's what I think's going on. It'll be okay. Let's just work together. I had none of that. I also had, weirdly, this is a weird trend. High school was horrible for me when it comes to emotionally manipulative people. I also had a boyfriend at the time who loved to hold our relationship hostage. Anytime I did something that was apparently not cool to him or anything, he would suggest maybe that things just weren't working out, and then me, who was all about conflict resolution, was like, no, we can fix this shit. It'll be okay. We can do this together. I have confidence in us. And he would do that often. And it wasn't until we finally broke up, which I realize now, I don't think he planned it to go that way, because he showed up. We'd had a huge fight, a weird fight. Keep in mind, I was in high school, and I think we'd had a fight about how our future would be. He wanted to talk about, how children would be raised, and I'm like, bro, I don't even know what fucking college I'm going to. Let's, slow the crap down. But he showed up to my house after prom and was like, maybe we should just drop it. And my brain was like, that was a kind of important conversation. I mean, admittedly, it wasn't one that I feel like we should be bothering to have when I'm not even graduated yet, considering I don't even know if I want a family. Spoiler alert, I didn't. So I stupidly was like, drop what? And he was like, the whole boyfriend-girlfriend thing. And I was so exhausted at that point from constantly, reassuring and bolstering him up that I was just like, okay. And then later I heard, how he was crying to everyone that I broke his heart, and I was just so confused. I'm like, you broke up with me? I don't understand. And then I realized, oh, you weren't trying to break up with me. You were just trying to manipulate me again. Oh, I'm really glad that blew up in your face. So I should really be thanking those two people, because very early on I started to recognize the signs of what a manipulative person tends to do, and sort of pick up on that and be able to cut it out of my life way earlier upon meeting someone. So that's just one kind. It's the more hardcore version of a toxic person who can exist in your life. We'll probably talk more about that kind of person at length later in this month. However, there's also those, since we're in the age of the internet, we run into so many toxic people who we've met for 5 seconds, and for some reason we decide that they get to stay in our lives for a few more hours than they ever should have. Just the other day, on my Twitter feed, it wasn't even something I was a part of, but a Twitter fight broke out, and I was weirdly tagged in it. I think it was because I had initially shared a article. It was a video about mental health specifically for women, and about not taking being all like, oh, my ladies, like, you get a lot of crap from society in particular. Like, don't let that fucking get you down. Good health, yay. And one guy, we'll call him a misogynist, I don't know, decided to go off about how, you know, if you dress that way, you deserve all these horrible things. And I'm like, this is not a good person. And some people were arguing with him. And I commend those people because I feel like you shouldn't completely ignore those sorts of people, because if no one argues at all, then they're just going to think that no one's opposing them ever. However, I do believe you should sort of say your piece and then peace out. Because the truth of the matter is that person is probably not going to listen to you. They will go on and on. They're going to be a wall. They're just going to be firmly and staunchly in their belief that they are correct. And some people might be like, well, then why bother talking at all? Because if you have a bunch of people who then go, no, you're wrong, it's da-da-da-da, and then leave, like, you can't argue with them anymore. I know, like, your pride is going to be like, but then they'll think they've won. But when you do that, and you don't continue, like, feeding the troll, per se, but you just are like, nope, motherfucker, this is the way the world is, peace out, go hang out in your delusions, you at least check them enough to be like, no, you're wrong. But then you don't cause yourself any more emotional stress. And if everybody did that, rather than either just ignore or get into these Twitter fights that unfortunately somehow become less productive the more you have them, I kind of feel like that might be the better way to go about it. I don't know. This is my personal rule of thumb. And I know rule of thumb has some terrible origins, so please forgive me for using that phrase. Bad origins from that phrase, as Boondock Saints have taught us. I want to specifically address that fact of like, oh, but, you know, if I just ignore them, they're going to be like, oh, I won. Yeah, they will. They totally will. I will completely concede to that point. When you cut that kind of toxic person out of your life, they are going to think on you a lot and just gloat about how they won. However, you personally will probably never think of that person again and actually be the winner. So I want you to think about it. These kind of people feed on the need for attention. Like, they have to constantly validate their existence. That's why they act like that. That's why they lash out. It all stems from our own fucked up inner crap that just needs to be healed. And some people deal with it by going to a therapist or working through their stuff. And some people, a lot of people, especially on the internet, decide, no, instead of that, I think I'm just gonna attack every living thing I see that can actually get back to me because I'm hiding behind a screen. Definitely stand against them so they don't think that the silence is a confirmation that they're right, because holy crap. But at the same time, once you've said all you can say, it's time to leave. Just time to go. Cut it out of your life. Don't need it. After that point, you've done your good for the world, and it's time to just give yourself a little bit of love yourself and just leave. Just leave. You don't need them. You're awesome. You are actually super awesome. And with that, the end of this hopefully somewhat empowering ramble. I will see you guys later. Bye. Oh, definitely keep an eye on my Twitter because we're probably going to do a stream tonight. So